Greetings, it is August 18th, 2018. I'm with a wood carving I did, one of about a half a dozen or so wood carvings I did over the years. I believe I did this in 1975 in a sculpture class I took, which I actually dropped out of while I was an undergraduate art major at Southern Illinois University at Carbondale at the School of Art. I didn't drop out of the art school, I dropped out of the sculpture class, during which time I did at least 2 wood carvings. This is one of them. The other one, I don't know the whereabouts of it, although I have a good photograph of it, called The Sculptor, based on a sketch and a woodcut print I had done in Champaign, where I lived before I moved to Carbondale, of a now deceased photographer, Scott Mutter. There might be a video of the photo I have of that other carving. Anyway, I recently got this back from a friend. I had given it to when I moved 9 years ago, and I was especially interested to get it back when I found that it was outdoors in the backyard, I guess, on a tree trunk. And I'm also able to date it because when I did the other wood carving, called The Sculptor, portrait of Scott Mutter, I had done the same joining, like with big vices and wood glue, probably Elmer's wood glue, of planks. And I'm guessing also we can see a good amount of the grain here that this is, I carved this in pine. Another carving I did, there's a video up, one can bring up, it's called The Eternal Jew, which I did in summer 1977. I basically did it for the senior thesis film of a cinema and photography major named Urim Joshua. And that title of that work, not to be confused with the Nazi anti-Semitic hate film, Der Ewige Jude. Anyway, I've belatedly, now all these years later, given this a title. I'm titling it Lamentation in honor or remembrance of Ernst Barlach, a sculptor who I greatly admired during those years in my early mid-20s when I was an art student. I bought this book at, I think, Hacker Art Books in Manhattan. I don't know if they're still around. Probably around the same time period, 1974, 75. Here's a few wood carvings by Barlach. And he did great work as a sculptor. And ironically, when I just glanced at this book, I read a bit of the preface. So it was edited by someone named Carl Dietrich Karls. Now the book shows up in internet sites, like being for sale. I saw a copy listed, I don't know, for like $11, which is a very good price. Published by Frederick Prager, New York, Washington, 1931, 1968, Rembrandt Verlag, Berlin. And he begins his preface by stating, I first saw my first Barlach sculpture, Shepherd in a Storm, in 1923. So I'm guessing the author-editor here could have been a child, he could have been a teen or a young adult, and he's undoubtedly long gone. What surprises me, considering he edited the book, is that I can't find any biographical information about him. I'm not talking about Barlach, but about the book editor, Carl Dietrich Karls. Anyway, a tangent. I will write a couple of German Langlit, 3 different professors I know, and at different universities and see maybe they can help find some information about Carl's. I'm very curious to hear how he got into writing and editing this book. So anyway, there you have it. Lamentation in homage to Ernst Barlach. Give you an idea of the scale here. There's that, my hand. And yes, it is a portrait of someone's head and face. And yes, it is meant to visually infer hands, palms of hands, clasped against the side of the head of the person I portrayed, who is no one in particular, and every man, if you'll consider that, or every woman, every person can be genderless. It doesn't need to be gender specific. All right, c'est tout pour maintenant. Dankeschön.